Hello, good morning. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. We are back again on another edition, and I am joined by my boss, Mr. Ade. Two bosses.
I'm slowly
Mr.
becoming
Ade
a co-host.
and Mr. Carr. So, Mr. Ade, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I said I'm slowly becoming your co-host because people keep dropping out. You know, Jules is away and Geneva's in Nairobi at the moment. But I think on today, as well as wishing the viewers a good morning, I have to say Happy Independence Day to the people of Algeria and also to the people of Cabo Verde. Wow. So, Happy Independence Day.
All right.
To both of those.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I think, we are praying for them to have a very wonderful celebration.
And they love to celebrate in Cabo Verde anyway. Cabo
Verde. All right, Mr. Carr, good morning.
Hey, good morning. It's my pleasure to join you once again.
That's a nice shoot there.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, on the program today, we will be looking at the quote. You know, normally it's an African proverb, but this week we decided to, change it a bit, bring some quotes, because sometimes these quotes are also very interesting to deliberate on them. And we'll also be talking to the Deputy Police PRO, ASP Dabo, on the general checking of motor vehicles. It's very significant. We are supposed to have the Paradise Foundation, but unfortunately, for one or two reasons, we could not have them. We will not be able to have them today. But at the end of the program, we'll be also talking to a music producer in the Gambia, and Churchill Balde will be taking us through that. And the quote reads today: "Patience can cook a stone." Patience can cook a stone.
Mr. Carr, do you want to delve in?
Yeah,
because you mentioned something before.
Yeah, patience is that's why they keep saying patience is a virtue. Yeah. It means you really have to exercise a lot of restraint to be able to achieve certain things. Sometimes, you know, in haste, you may cause damage or lose focus, and then that is, you know, something that you must always pay attention to. So therefore, being patient sometimes is very important, you know, and I think it's applicable in all areas of life. Sometimes you are too much in a hurry. I think there is an expression in Creole where they say hurry pass. And yes, you know, and that goes to capture the very essence of what they mean by patience. Sure. So exercising restraint, whether it's in different circumstances, I think it's important. So it's a very, very deep, you know.
It's a deep one. And I was smiling when Malik mentioned patience is a virtue, because the first time I heard that phrase, I was in school in Sierra Leone, in primary school. And our teacher wrote it on the board, and everybody laughed. And he said, "What's funny?" And what was funny was that one of my classmates had two sisters, one named Patience, the other named Virtue. We'd never heard the phrase before, patience is a virtue. And yet in class we had, you know, in Africa we love to give those types of first names.
Blessings.
You know, blessing and gift and so on. And so we all started laughing, and the teacher was like, "What's funny?" And we said, "Well, William's here, he has a sister called Patience, another sister called Virtue," which, you know, was hilarious. But in terms of patience can cook a stone, my gosh, how deep is that? And as Malik rightly says, sometimes to achieve things, it's best not to rush. And sometimes even if you're wishing for something, you know, don't be in too much of a hurry, because when you get it, you might not be prepared for it. You know, take your time, and it comes to you in its proper time. But sometimes we can become, all of us can be guilty of it in one way or another. We want something and we want it now, and we're not patient. But as it says, patience.
Well, it requires a deep understanding for one to be able to interpret patience and cook a
It
stone.
means you have to be very calculating in what you do deliberately, and then be very strategic, and, you know, be very meticulous. So all these things are things that are encompassed into the word patience, because if you do that, you plan properly, methodically, and you execute, success is always the end product. But where there is no planning, where there is no deep thought in terms of what you're doing, sometimes the minute details can fail you. That is why they say patience can even cook a stone. Yes.
Absolutely. patients can cook a stone if you are patient enough. The patient dog eat the fattest bone, you know,
yes,
we've had all that.
We have
or,
all these,
well, it's just trying to emphasize how important is one to be patient. But it's also important, Mr. Carr, for you to go for what you want. At some point, people will tell you, just be patient, handle it, it will be cool.
Yeah, but that does not take away the patience. You know, being impatient also doesn't mean that, you know, you can still go for what you want. That's why I said it has to be methodical, it has to be calculating, and it has to be well thought. Because if you hurry, then you will fall in. You can see sometimes drivers trying to get to a specific place,
the words
and
right
they're rushing. You end up having an accident because there is a big pothole at the front and you didn't see it. Somebody behind you, being extremely patient, can just swerve past that and get to that place, whilst you will never get to your destiny, despite being very hurriedly in a rush to get there. So that's what they mean. It doesn't mean to say that you don't go for what you want. Of course you have to, but you have to be very crafty in planning and designing and trying to...
As Malik said, as we mentioned that, the first thought that came to my mind was last night we did a story on the news about the National Roads Authority putting out this press release about the fact that they've temporarily opened the roads from the airport junction all the way to Turntable. And from Airport Junction to Old Yundum, where the police station used to be, in 1 week, they had 5 accidents. And from that spot to Sukuta traffic lights, in that same week, they had 5 accidents. Why? Because drivers wanted to overtake when there were barriers. And if you see some of the cars, I doubt whether the drivers even survived. They smashed the cars to smithereens. Why? Impatience. You end up speeding and you die. You don't get to where you were intending to go. Exercise patience, you will get there. You know, I don't know what the obsession is with speed in the Gambia. I've never understood it. Every morning I see people overtaking me at 100 kilometers an hour because the road is nice and free at the moment.
Well, I think the use of the road is very new to most Gambians, especially the width and all these things. That is why the National Road Authority, or whichever authority is responsible, ought to come to platforms like this or in the media and educate the drivers and the pedestrians, for that matter, how to use the road. Some also cross the road at very dangerous points. You see cars coming in speed and you see somebody, and you can miscalculate the speed of the car and the rate at which you're crossing. So all these things, and also the use of the lanes, all these things are, I know, are not there yet, but we will get there. They have to start now, educating and enlightening the people by coming to the radios, coming to the televisions, and engaging the general public, the drivers in particular, invite the drivers' unions and all these people to enlighten them as to what a slow lane is, what a fast lane is when you're running, what side of the road you should be in, how to interchange. All these things are important, and for most of these drivers is new. So that is why we are experiencing such high level of accidents.
Well, if you look at the new road, the airport junction to Bursubi road, the way it is designed, it's telling you it will have pavements whereby people will be using to cross the highway. But right now, you can't cross, I mean, without, some people scale over a particular slab.
That's right.
You know, so which is very dangerous. So I think driving carefully would really ease, I mean, accidents.
Patience.
Exactly.
Exercise patience.
Carefully, exactly, is the underlying
word. So now, yesterday, guys, did you realize yesterday it's the world's hottest day? Yesterday. And according to statistics, it will be put on the screen for people to see. Globally, we experienced the hottest day, and sometimes, I mean, people will tell you the reason for this is due to human activities. I mean, you know, people will tell you deforestation contributes, and the emission of green gases to the atmosphere, which depletes the ozone layer. So, I mean, people will be telling you this. So,
that goes to confirm
according
that
to
climate.
We will take a short break and we'll be back.
Yeah, sure.
That goes to confirm that climate change.
Making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell brings you the future with our ultimate bundles. Enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. Or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot Model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system with reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espas Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-22-222 or 353-4444.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Aji Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Aji Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Aji Bank, your investment partner.
Yes, welcome back from that break, and now the program continues. Like I said, Mr. Ka, I mean, yesterday was the was regarded as the world's hottest day, and you know, the reason for this is sometimes human activities. We all know how important the ozone layer is, and some of the activities of human leads to the depletion of the ozone layer, according to people that studied these. So yesterday was a very hot day. One can even realize, if you are outside, I mean, you will see how hot the atmosphere was.
You mean in Gambia?
Not only in the Gambia, it's worldwide.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so you can see that picture there. it's telling you this. So, Mr. Ka, what do you make of this? I mean, a lot of activities are really causing problems for humans.
Yeah, there is sometimes what we call environmental genocide. That is where we go and cut down all these rainforests. For instance, in Brazil at some point when before Lula came to power, they had to open up logging and the level of destruction, you know, and recently also I heard Ruto of Kenya also opening up their forest for logging. These are issues that are really of interest to the entire human race, because the environmental impact of their actions is not limited to their geographical area. It's far beyond that. That is why we are concerned, like if you start cutting the trees in Casamas area or southern part of Senegal, it's bound to affect our environment. So that's just one aspect. Also emission, you know, emission of like greenhouse gases, CO2 yes, and all these things. So they must take these environmental issues seriously because they are impacting our lives and they will affect a lot of countries, especially island countries such as Fiji and many others that are scattered around the globe, where there is temperature rise. Of course, we know what happens at the volume. I will leave you. The volume of water in the sea is bound to rise and then engulf some of these nation states.
I mean, there are several things to this, as Malik rightly says. And for example, ice caps start to melt. So places that were icebergs have started melting. And of course, where do they go? They go into the seas and the oceans, and that causes sea levels to rise. I saw a report last week when they were speaking to somebody from Italy, and she said, we used to be a winter ski resort. She said for the last 2 winters, there's been no snow for people to ski. That's quite serious. I mean, when you realize that people have been skiing in this resort for over 110 years. Now, because it is melted, the ice that's there and the snow that's there, there's not enough for people to ski on. And so, you know, they're quite significant. And also it's becoming a kind of political thing as well, because we talk about emissions, we're using cars, people are trying to, in some of the so-called first world countries, they're now trying to switch to electric cars. And they're now saying to African nations, stop drilling for oil, and all these Arab nations, stop drilling for oil. And you know, of course, these nations are fighting back, saying, oh, you guys have enjoyed 100 years of drilling for oil and becoming rich on it. It's our turn. Let us get the wealth from oil, and you know, let us be able to benefit from it. So it's becoming very, very political, and it's, you know, people are contesting. And you mentioned Ruto of Kenya. And, you know, Ruto said, you know, why shouldn't Kenyan people who live in these areas benefit from you know, logging and so on? But as Malik says, these forests, these rainforests, they belong to the world. They don't belong to an individual country. No matter how quickly we plant trees, we can't plant them quick enough to replace trees that have been there for 100 years.
Exactly.
And so, you know,
so let's talk about the emission of greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. I mean, we understand the West and other countries are trying very hard to introduce electric cars, as you mentioned. But how ready are we to accept that as, you know, as Africans? Are we ready? I mean, it's like it will take a long time for us to accept that. And that long time, before we accept that change, the damage has already been done.
Can't even get electricity for our houses.
Absolutely.
Never mind for our cars. Come on.
We are the junkyard of the world. That is the fact. They take all these second-hand stuff and dump them here. Yeah, the fridges, cars, and all these things. And all these have environmental consequences. So that is why, as governments, they have to have policies that would protect the environment and the health of the people as well. Because the environment is bound to be impacted where there is emission. Never mind talking about asthmatic people and other attendant, you know, health issues. But the global aspect of it, which Ade mentioned briefly, the political side of it, is between the North and the South, so to speak. The Northern Hemisphere are wealthy, extremely, to the extent that they should be funding some of these things. And they are partially or mostly responsible for most of the greenhouse emissions that we are already experiencing, because here the industries are very young in the southern hemisphere, so we have not been polluting a lot. So the onus and the responsibility falls onto them to really put out the money so that we can together globally have a strategic policy program in place which will affect and then protect humanity, so that we can give to the future generation something that they can inherit from us and be proud, rather than destroying it for them. And we are doing that. We are on that slippery path. I know there were a lot of naysayers who were very doubtful about environmental, issues, but it's a fact. It's scientifically established now.
Well, that's right.
Well, when I was going to school, I can remember during my school days, our teacher will come and tell us, he will say, okay, Banjul will flood in 50 years, according to scientists. This is what they said, and we'll all laugh, thinking, okay, what is he saying? Yeah. But, we are seeing, this thing is happening gradually, and if things didn't change, we are going towards that.
When a city like Banjul is at or below sea level, just the very phrase tells you that it's in danger. And so we've had recent heavy rains where the city has been inundated with water, to the extent where much of it was underwater for several days, and people's houses and buildings were destroyed. And that shows you the urgency of addressing it. And again, we were talking when we were, islands like Fiji and Tonga, there are some of these islands where literally in about 50 years they will not be there, because they've seen the incremental rise in the sea level, and they are in grave danger of disappearing.
And yet, what is COP 28, 26, 27 benefiting us now? Every year we gather, we talk about, environment, we talk about climate change. A whole lot of time, still there is no changes.
Well, I'll come in. There's an explosive report on the BBC today where somebody has leaked to them documents which shows that billions of pounds that the British government had promised to give to developing nations to help fight climate change, they are deliberately withholding. And somebody has leaked that. It's a top secret report. They've leaked it to the BBC, and the BBC have gone, it's their main story today across the BBC in the UK. And that shows you that these big countries, they go to these places, they make pledges, they make, we'll do this, we'll do that, but secretly, they've no intention of following through on those pledges. And this has exposed it in the starkest possible way, that what they do is they talk big, and at the end there's a communique saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but they don't mean it, and it is serious. They need to mean it, and they need to do what they've promised to do. Otherwise,
well, I think both parties are not interested in fighting climate change. I can remember COP26, most of these big nations where they drill oil, most of them didn't attend the COP26. They were not there, so they were not interested.
But the sad thing is, like what we said earlier on, this is a human issue. It's not like one area you do something and then it impacts. This is a global thing. If you look at the hurricanes, the wildfires, the intensity of all these environmental challenges that are facing humanity, go to affirm that we ought to do something. Because we live in one planet. There is no other planet that is occupied by humans. This is Earth. This is the only planet that we have. We either work out solutions or we sink together. Yep. There is no way out like, okay, the West can survive and the South. No. These environmental issues ought to be tackled as a human issue. Humanity ought to really get up and then recognize that these are real things, they are factual, and there is evidence-based, so let's have a solution to it together.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this thing about we talk a lot but we do little, we all thought that COVID-19 showed us about the interconnectedness of the world. COVID-19 shut down the whole world. Not Africa, not Asia, not Europe. The whole world was shut down.
Very organic.
And that should have made us think there are lots of things where we are connected. And because of that, we do need to work together to get solutions. And of course, climate change is one of those. It's not just going to affect Africa or Asia or wherever. It's going to affect the whole world.
Exactly.
And so it's a united thing.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I mean, I think that's a very interesting conversation right here.
Thank you.
And Mr. Carr, thank you. We'll now take a leave of you. And we'll be talking to the Deputy Police PRO on the general checking of motor vehicles operation. And we'll take a short break. After the break, the program continues. We'll be back.
You asked for it, and QCell is giving it to you with our new and improved Sunyu Bundle Mega Promo. Now you can get more data at cheaper prices. Buy any of our bundle packages and enjoy massive discounts. Dial *303# and enjoy browsing on the network with the biggest coverage. Buy a 20 megabytes data bundle for as low as $7 and 50 bottles today, or purchase bigger bundles up to 20 gigabytes. Yes, that's right, 20 gigabytes of data at your fingertips. With our mega promo bundles, you can browse more, chat longer, and stay connected on the go, anytime, anywhere. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, orders follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Thank you. We are back. And this is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Balde. On the platform, it's my boss, Mr. Ade, you know, who is the co-host of the program. You know, when your boss is your co-host.
I'm the pretend co-host. I'm sitting in for other people.
That's interesting.
For Julde and for Jenna.
Yeah, so now on the platform, we have Cadet Inspector Dabo, Deputy PRO of the Gambia Police Force, and also a staff of QTV now.
It kind of feels like
because he's always here on this platform.
Like
yeah, so we'll be talking about the new operation that has been carried out by the Gambia Police, you know, general checking of motor vehicles. I mean, you know, it's important for us to engage him. And I know, Mr. Ade, you are happy about this. I mean,
I'm happy and I'm unhappy, but we'll get to that.
He's happy and unhappy. On that note, Dabo, welcome on the program, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. I think I will take one pronouncement right. Staff of QTV. I know some people take some other issues too serious, but I'm happy to associate myself with you. And the second one, we have two cadet cadet titles, cadet inspector and cadet assistant superintendent.
Okay.
Cadet inspector is lower.
So this one is cadet assistant superintendent.
Yes. They're different.
I
said I'm here anytime I come here. I'm either too promoted or too demoted. Today I'm at the unfortunate end.
You are on the fortunate end.
No, unfortunate.
Unfortunate end.
Yes.
Now have you these terms confused us a lot. Yeah. So now please take us through this operation.
So the general checking of motor vehicles, as the pronouncement has happened prior to the Tobaski, we call it. I mean, somewhere around the 25th of June, that we were going to embark on an operation to check on all motor vehicles plying the length and breadth of this country. It's a countrywide operation. So we started, and at some point, the Tobaski break came up. We put a hold to it, and after the Tobaski break, we continue. So like you call it, it's a general checkup, not only about faulty brakes or let's say driver's documents, it is going to be the insurance or it is going to be the airline scenes. We also take keen interest in ensuring that we checked on the pested, tinted. The funny part of it, some of the vehicles that were impounded yesterday and a day before are having pested, tinted, even at the front, you know. So sometimes you tend to ask, why do you have to do it that way?
In front of the
the vehicle. We have not one, not two, not three.
But how
on the
are you
windscreen,
going to drive?
You know, so these are things that are not accepted by law, and as a result, we are doing everything possible to ensure that, you know, we stop them. Just a day before yesterday alone, we were able to impound about 74 vehicles. Yesterday the operation was still alive, and today, and it's going to continue in some other part of the country because we're going to decentralize it across in the rural area and in the urban centers. So basically, in the general overview, yes, this is what the general checking.
But Dabo, I think there are more important issues that the police should check.
Which is why I said I was happy and unhappy.
I mean, let us forget about tinted for now. Let us talk about brakes. Let's talk about backlights. Let's talk about proper windscreens. Let's talk about wipers. It's rainy season. Yeah, Stop checking tinteds.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when you introduced the piece, I said I was happy and unhappy. I'm happy that the some checks are being done. But what I'm unhappy is that every day, without fail, and if anybody wants to challenge me, we can go out right now, and I will be able to film cars where the wing mirrors are broken. If it's at night, I leave this office 9 o'clock most nights. I can guarantee before I get to Coastal Road, I would have passed 20 or 30 cars that have one light or no light. Nobody's stopping them. So forget about tinted and all this stuff. Why are those cars still plying the road? That's the danger. A car that has no lights, or a car coming towards you with one light, you think it's a motorbike until you're inches from it. Then you realize it's not a motorbike. It's a car that only has one headlight. I mean, those are the things that those cars should not be on the road. And there are hundreds of them, if not thousands. Why are those cars not being taken off the road?
Well, you put up a very great concern. And I'm happy that we call it a general checkup. And a general checkup will have to do with all these areas that you mentioned. But we cannot say or underestimate anything that is not been observed or not been not accepted by law. For example, you cannot have a tinted glass if you do not have a clearance from the Office of the Inspector General. Now, if you do that, it means you have done an offense. And we are speaking of the law. So you, in speaking the law, we don't have to compromise or underestimate any part of it. Does that, am I significantly saying your areas of concern are not important? They are quite important. This is a communication that has been passed by the Inspector General of Police to the Commissioner of Transport. I'm happy maybe he'll be listening to this this show. And he has been commanded by the Inspector General of Police to embark on an operation with the Commissioner of Operation who was also on the road 2 days back to ensure that they do a general checkup, including every other thing that you have mentioned here. So it is very much right that vehicles that have one of their lights on, the other one's not functioning, that is dangerous. That is a danger, it's a threat to the life of the passengers, threat to the life of the driver, and threat to the life of the road users. So if those vehicles are seen, they should be impounded immediately. You know, these are concerns that we receive daily, and for every time you receive the concerns, we make sure that it is, passed on to those that are in the operations. And I can assure you that after here, I will make sure that he watch this. Sometimes I go there and tell him, listen to what people are saying. You know, I go to offices that are concerned and tell them that listen to the complaints of the citizens. And most times I can tell you that they react swiftly to ensure that that those concerns are addressed. So that is the operation. The operation is not basically on only the tinted glass or the pasted tinted glass. It's about everything, whether the faulty brakes, or it's about drivers without documents, significantly showing that they are either not qualified or did not pass through the procedure to have those to drive that particular vehicle. So that is the process, and we'll ensure that
exactly. So is the operation nationwide?
Yeah, it is nationwide. I said it from the first instant. It's not any urban operation. It's an operation that should go across the length and breadth of this country to ensure that everything is checked, and this is done periodically by our operation department in collaboration with the police mobile traffic unit.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's clear.
It's clear. I mean, because for me, I think they should be, the reason I get upset and angry about this is that when I first came to the Gambia ranked 4th in the world for road traffic accidents. And that's no pun intended, it's no accident. The reason that happens is there are lots of unfit vehicles on the road. And if we are serious about saving people's lives, then there are certain things that are life-threatening, which to me are the things we should be focusing on. I know, tinted glass is breaking the law, But I'm not sure that's a life-threatening thing compared to no lights, one light. Or you see a taxi and the boot is so full that the driver can't possibly be seeing what's behind him or her, who's ever driving that car. And you see lots and lots of those cars. Yeah. I know they have to make money, but it's dangerous, you know. And so for me, those are more dangerous than tinted glass. And so, you know, I think if we're talking about saving lives, you know, clamping down on tinted glass is not the thing that we should be doing. Gambia should not be in the top 100, never mind in the top 10 or top 4 for road traffic accidents, and yet we are. And the reason we are is lots of unfit vehicles on our roads. And we need to take them off and be brutal about it. I'm sorry. You know, and I don't think we are, because we look at people who say, oh, well, this guy has to make money, this is living and so on. And so we allow him to ply the road with no lights. And I see that every night, and it annoys me because it's dangerous. You know, so, you know, for me, you know, I don't want to be confrontational necessarily, but if we want to save people's lives, then we need to be serious about it.
I agree. I seriously agree with you. And you've mentioned something about taxis. It's called protruding. You know, sometimes you see they have this metallic bar that cross path the vehicle and, you know, poses danger to the next vehicle, to the one in front and the one at the back. They call it protruding, and it's an offense. I mean, we have considered it. I think this is one of the greatest concern of the Inspector General. I've been with him a day before yesterday when the operation started. You know, I've been with the Commission of Operation too. And even when we are together, he has made, you know, several attempts talking to the Commissioner of Operation, saying, are you people on the road? Make sure that you get all of these people, irrespective of who the person is. I've heard him loud and clear saying that. And I've also heard the Commissioner of Operation talking to him directly on phone that the operation is going on, and we're ensuring that we do not have any, you know, irrespective of which vehicle it is, who you know, it belongs to. I saw some public criticism, so other people saying this operation is not targeting anybody. It's for everyone. So long that what you have done is against the law, we are going to have you apprehended. In fact, I can tell you, you have police officers whose vehicles are currently impounded, you know, who was part of it. So that goes to tell you, it's not targeting any section or any class of the society. So I emphasize on the tinted glass from the first instant. I don't want it to be misunderstood that the operation is all about to cram down on those who have pasted tinted glass. It's far beyond that. It's about every other offense to ensure that our road is safe from avoidable accidents. Of course, there are avoidable accidents, and it can always be argued. There are certain accidents you know that if this and this and this are in place, indeed this accident would have not happened in the first instance. So we are ensuring that those things are battled out and be assured that these operations will be intensive. So, and I'm, you know, we have an operation that is so keen, and I don't want to say afraid, but that's so keen with feedbacks. You know, they want to do the work right, but they also want to do the work so that it's impressed, you know, it attracts public opinion positively. So when they hear that you are having lapses in these areas, as I am going to very much report to them today, they want to do more. And I can show you that maybe when you come back here, you'll tell me, Davo, you are right. The other time I was going and I saw some vehicles that have cracked windows or glasses, and they have been impounded for that. Those reasons. So
are we going to, what is the duration of this exercise? Which was going to be my question. Are we going to, is it ongoing, or is it going to be just for a period of time?
Our operations are no longer flashlights like other people will call it. You just beamed and everyone sees the clarity that is ongoing, and before you know, you settle down. That's just not being it now. We try to always introduce new mechanisms, because, you know, the more you go into the operation, the more you learn new things, the more you adopt new styles. So the operation will be ongoing. In fact, traffic is a daily business. It's a daily business. So the operation is just there to intensify. But it's a business for every day. Every day you pass this road, you find police officers standing on the road, making sure that they control the traffic, but also identifying traffic offenses. So it's an everyday business that is going to continue. And it is our hope, because that's the entire intention. The entire intention is to ensure that we contribute to the minimizing of road accident. We very well can do.
Another a message from our Farafenni correspondent, North Bank region, Don Williams. He said the police should be consistent in their operation. Please tell them to clear the footpaths as well.
Yeah, we've issued a press release, if you're a keen follower of our page, regarding that. The footpath clearance will have to be a collective responsibility. I mean, sub-owners, households, and those who are doing businesses on the roads need to play their own part. I mean, if you make a declaration that there no car should be parked there, indeed there will be no car parked there. Is that an excuse that we should not do? We are not going to do our job? Not at all. That's why I said it's an all-inclusive operation, but this is a whole package of its own. Sure. We've issued a press release on that effect, and if anybody is gotten right now, you don't have to say, but we are not informed about it. It's an offense. You cannot park there. You cannot block the road. You cannot make sure you make the road so narrow that people will not have anywhere to go. Sure. That's another cause of road accident. And we will look into it.
Well, I mean, the airport Senegambia road towards Costa Road end, there is a bit of amalgamation there. There is a part that it's a bit confusing.
When you come to the flyover, or
no, not before you get to the flyover, from the airport gate towards Brikama, the bend that goes to Senegambia at that roundabout there, Yundum, Old Yundum, is it Old Yundum? Yes, at the bend there. Yeah. I mean, there is a bit confusion on the roads. Sometimes, even yesterday, I was driving from Costa Road end. I wanted to buy petrol from the GNPC there at the main junction. It was so confusing. I didn't know where to turn, how to turn. So I used the other way. I was even checking if the police were behind to follow me. But I know they realized this is a confusing road, so they didn't say anything. I went to buy. But that can cause a lot of accidents.
Is it the new one?
The new one.
Yes. Are you referring to Sukuta traffic light?
Not Sukuta. When you, from airport junction to Senegambia, like so the airport junction itself, there is a roundabout there. The other one goes to Brikama, the other one goes to Lamen, and the one that goes to Costa Road area.
Okay.
Yeah, so that place is a bit confusing.
Yeah, the new roads we face, truthfully, we face some challenge with the new road. And I'm sure this is a well-followed program. You have officers from the GRA, we intervene. We intervene because the new road has to go through some process and officially then handed over to some openings and etc. Sure. There are so many protocols that are required. But I'm sure even in that situation, there should be diversion signs.
Yeah, sure. In fact, there are. I mean,
there should be diversion signs that indicate, Balde, if you come here, you go this way. Another person who is coming from this direction, you go this way. So I think drivers and vehicle owners should also be keen to those signs and follow them appropriately.
Mr. Ade, before a follow-up question.
It was just to talk about that very place because I was caught, I was actually caught there.
Exactly.
Because somebody was blocking the diversion. I didn't see it. And so I went where I shouldn't have gone. And the police stopped me and they said, there's a sign. And I said, oh, somebody's standing in front of it. And that's why I didn't see it. And they accepted it because it was true. But there are diversion signs there, and but
exactly.
it is
and
confusing.
Most of the time, your signs are not visible enough for people like me to see. But there was a time around Bambotu, I used a one-way, and the police stopped me, and he took me to the sign and said, "This is a sign." I said, "I accept, but I've not seen it."
Yeah, but we cannot at this point you cannot mount that gigantic sign. If of course. Whether it is going to be temporal abuse. So, but you have signs that you will have to, I mean, as a driver, Balde too, you have to be keen at every direction on the road. Yes. Of course, there are signs, and they are for temporal use, understanding the circumstance of the road construction. I think we just, as drivers, we just have to be keen to those ones and go. And sometimes you don't even necessarily have to get the signs. You look at the traffic flow. Maybe you're not the only person there. There are 2 or 3 people who are all following this one. But if a critical Balde wants to know, I must have a fault to ensure that.
So when he stopped me, I said to him, I didn't know, honestly. He took me to the side. I said, now I know it's an offense. So now what?
Yes.
He said, well, you see, it's an offense. I have to take your license. I said to him, forgive me.
and he forgave you.
And he
So what
forgave me.
were you expecting? Probably telling you, give me money.
No, no, no.
Okay.
He said to me, okay, this is an oven, and you see this is one way, and you use this way wrongly.
Okay.
I said to him, oh, okay, so now what? He said to me, I will take your license and I'll park your vehicle. I said to him, please, officer, forgive me.
What happened?
Later, he forgave me. He forgave me, and he said, next time if you come, I'll take you.
You know, our first warnings are always accepted in our work.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, not first warning for a criminal, but on traffic. I mean, you commit some of those minor offenses. Probably you have a good excuse. It's not because you're not documented. You know, it's because probably you don't see the diversion sign. Those things they make the work easy for police. And let me tell you, our officers, once I mark you once that they have passed through that conversation with you, you'll be surprised.
Yes.
The same officer will remind you of the same day. He will tell you, 2 weeks back, I got you here.
Oh, they are very good.
And you said you're sorry. I let you go, so why do you repeat
No,
it?
you know, the day that I respect the Gambia police force, you know, my uncle, there is an uncle, I lived with him in the same place. I mean, this guy, my first vehicle was tinted. My first small Mr. Bean, I tinted the vehicle.
Right.
The guy stopped me in the middle of Serekunda Market, and an uncle, my uncle, he stopped me in the middle of Serekunda Market, and he was removing my tint like this. He removed it.
That's the law.
I was thinking he would be like, oh, okay, this is my nephew, don't worry.
No,
but he removed it like, I will set an example. And he removed it like that.
That's a very good example.
Yeah, so you see, now this new road on Senegambia, from Airport Junction again, you have sort of a slab in the middle of the road. The vehicles that are supposed to coming from airport going to Senegambia, they have a way to use this side and the other one this side. But now you can see both vehicles coming from Senegambia area and airport, they are all using one side. It happens sometimes. Or while the ones coming from Senegambia are supposed to use that other side, and this one is supposed to use this way so that the traffic can flow. But these people will leave this direction and come to the other direction, which can cause a lot of interruptions.
This is Gambia.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. But you know, you see about this road construction and everything, Balde. There is no standard measure taking place as to the flow of the traffic, and you can understand that because the construction is in progress. So the only thing that right now what we can say is to comply with those who are constructing. They can say it's not fit for use for now, and then talk to the GRA to mount a diversion, and they created way for people to go about their business. And at this instance, all that the police can advise the public is to comply with the people who are constructing the road and the GRA officers who are doing the diversion. We're really putting up, you know, support for them. You see the new roads at night. You see our officers will mount a checkpoint. Because when it was opened from the first instant, people are abusing. I'm telling you, we've received a hit and run incident continuously, daily, day out. Sometimes you be in your house at night. Around 1 a.m. you got a text from a friend or something, boy, we just witnessed a hit and run incident here. Call your men. You know, that ungodly hour. So at some point they have to step up, because, you know, if we're saying we want to make easy for people to use the road, that should not also warrant other people to use it as a trap to kill others and just run away. Because there's no proper signs. Also, there are no checkpoints. You know, it was just for convenient for people to use. But, you know, we didn't understand that that's not the perfect time. So at this instance, all that we can say is people to comply with the constructions and the GRA who are doing a good work on
Thank you very much. Gambia Police Force, they are really trying their best. They are doing what they are supposed to do. It's difficult to manage people. You know, for people like us, the civilians, we will always talk. We will always put blames on the police. But deep inside, we know you have us at heart. We know you are working for us. We know you are protecting our lives and our properties. So sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's hard. And, you know, I'll take this chance to say thumbs up and bravo to the young police officers. When I am going on that road, I'll see young police officers in the middle of the road controlling the traffic. So I think their efforts should be recognized. They are doing a very good job. Otherwise, here and there we'll be hearing a lot of accidents.
Well, Balde, it's not easy to beat your own drum.
He's beating it for you.
Or to blow your trumpet. But I can tell you we are trying to do a lot of reform. As we speak right now, the Inspector General with his team are already on checks to stations that are under construction,
right,
because we understand that the type of cells we have are not fit for enough, you know, they're not convenient for someone to detain. If indeed you want that person to reform and you want that person to change, you are in fact causing more harm. So that is part of the security sector reform, and we are not waiting for that reform agenda to direct us to what to do. The reform agenda must not tell us that you will have to be on the roads to control the traffic. By the time we would have recorded more deaths as he introduced. I mean, there were more dead on road than even COVID-19 with all of its severity in the Gambia, as it was reported. So we don't have to wait for those reports, and I'm happy that the management is taking the lead in ensuring that these reforms are proactively done, so that by the time it is going to be institutionalized, or say it is official that you will have to do this, and they would have gone through out of the majority of the reforms that we think is urgent and is required.
By the way, congratulations. I've also seen the new construction at the Serekunda Police
and Bundung, and many other parts.
Massive, huge, and you know, state-of-the-art offices.
And more befitting
I think it's going well.
I wish next program I'll be able to display the type of stations we want to build, you know, across all major stations in this country. People don't have to be afraid of the police station, so that if you're approaching the police station, you see it as a center for punishment or as a center to really suffocate people. I mean, when you are approaching a police station, you should feel protected. That sense of protection should be in you. That's a place to redress my grievances. I mean, you feel comfortable to talk to those people. And that's the modern policing system we're trying to introduce. Of course, in the process, we will have a lot of challenges, whether from the outside, whether it is going to be criticisms from the citizens, or whether it is going to be part of our own officers who will punch below the bar. We understand this, but we will ensure that our code of conduct is never compromised, and where there are people who are fault or victims are victimized. You remember about the incident of the police officers alleged of stealing the mobile phone? I want to tell you that the police officer has been sacked. So that goes to tell you that we are not compromising with our code of conduct, and we are not compromising with good mannerism and professional policing that will only protect really the lives and the properties of the Gambian people.
Absolutely. It is well said. Thank you very much. You know, Deputy PRO for coming. It's difficult for me. It's difficult for me to mention that. I mean, Cadet Assistant Superintendent Dabo. Well, thank you for coming on the platform. It's unfortunate today your friend is not here, Julde.
I am sorry. I'm sorry for what happened to Julde. I'll reach out to her.
Yes. I mean, we wish her a speedy recovery.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll take a short break. After the break, then the click segment. We'll be right back.
QCell brings you the future with our ultimate bundles. Enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. Or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system, reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espas Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-2222 or 353-4444.
Do your your banking the smart way with the new Aji Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Aji Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Aji Bank, your investment partner. You asked for it, and QCell is giving it to you with our new.
Welcome back. Now let's talk entertainment, and the entertainment segment on the QTV, as you know, is run by our own brother, Churchill Balde, the man in yellow.
My hype man.
Exactly.
Man's a fan, la boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful having you as a fan,
I'm a fan.
my support system.
I'm a fan, yeah.
Well, sometimes I'm where we get. Anyways, it's your boy Churchill Ballet. Today we are on a different frequency. We have a music producer in the building, and come mom nyep hamne ko ba pare. So jarut sa introduction. Jaws nga yep. Welcome, mobile and news of
Thanks for having me here, and appreciate Nako. Yeah, to reach out to people because you by the time tour be in the day, right?
Sure.
Yeah, tour be, but for this face of the nigga problem. Yeah, but just yep.
First thing lumo bugas na ñu njëkk a waxtaan on my timing because man dama gis ne yow da nga over respect time. Come interview time is about 9, but you came here 7. What does skipping time mean to you?
Like, cause I work with time.
Yeah.
Producer la.
True.
Like I got a lot of people to work with, and then it's all time. They just get time, then you prepare time bonus. So you know time bonus means like just not time. So if you come, you have to wait or walanga dembe. Next time we reschedule.
And that is fair enough because you have so many artists to work with.
If you get a so balaba talk the hard late.
I'm come appreciate now mashallah. So first, you walk us through the journey into production, music production to be precise.
Well, Jaws, so go hamote si football. Dingo ham si way.
Okay.
So go hamote si way tamit. Dingo ham si producer.
Okay.
So go hamote si producer. Dingo ham si TikTok. So go hamote si yini yop mom. You are missing out. So moy lo da.
So la mo nga choose producing because so la ne mo non nga nek artist bopam.
Yeah, like man don way. And ma dem ba si bir pa gis ne like I think that I could do the production side also because dama day gis ne comme man time bo nekk non like to record a song daf nek a problem.
Okay.
Ba happy ak yoy non daf nek a problem. So why not ma create man tamit small studio bopa.
Okay.
They ma muna help the young talents coming up because of they made pour nga for some pour nga gene was a problem la.
True.
Yeah, ben do they am fit wala do they am halis so
So you go venture into production. You la xamé won si music comme nga nek an artist.
Yeah.
How did they feel? How did they receive this?
Well, at first, comme ñu war den wax ne like yow yaa ngi mun wéy. So la moo tax nga bëgg a quick way bi nga nekk artist but quick to my way bi just I'm working with a lot of people and my amee tamit ay artist tamit ñoo xam ne maa ngi job ak gars yi. So I have to quick ma pagum one aside.
Okay.
Ma concentrate.
All right. So what we'll do, Jaws, would like you to adjust that. Wow, just adjust that group.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Yes. Just place it behind. No, the
boom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you adjust it properly, because I want them to hear what Jaws is saying. You know, which is very significant. As a producer, we have him in our studios. You know, so
we have a couple of sample of bits.
Yes.
So complain bits and you said Jaws come
let's take a look at what Jaws produced. Let's continue the conversation.
Wow, so comme yaa doon wax lu over important. ne yow comme ku la xamut si naka tuddaati football. xam na si production. and then ma la laajte ne yow boo décidé pour venture into production comme sa gars lan lañ feel about.
comme ni ma ko expliqué like dañu waxoon ne comme yow yaa ngi mun wéy. and so waree ñëw to production side. comme da nga am difficulties cause doo mën a continuer sa wéy bi ak yooyu noonu. man sax dama ko weddi woon at first so waaye ma demee ba si biir ma gis ne like I have a lot to do and ma amee ay xale yoo xam te ne maa ngi war a jàppale gars pour ñu egg. so I have to post my music bi and ma concentrate.
Yeah. So there are so many music producers out there. Ku nekk am ngay def lu nice. Yo, what makes you stand out from them? La moo tax man ma war a record ba pare ma isi ko to Jaws.
Well, cause Jaws moom nekkul di record comme ñoo xam te den film already.
Okay.
Yeah, cause man maa ngi build from the ground ma andi la si kaw.
Okay.
So I think that's make it different.
Boo recordé comme xam naa ne question bi moom su ma la ko la teewoon balde na ma rëy yaa ngi record an artist on that album. He is currently mun naa ne one of the biggest right now. Comme where sound is all over Gambia.
Yeah, sure.
And then ñu xamee ko si Fula Gangster. And then the song bi ñëpp xam ne nu mu tudda. So yow after boo recordé song bi balde am I permitted to mention the title of the song?
No, Chago.
So yow boo recordé loolu. Okay, first sax yow ndax xamoon nga ne kooku loolu la war a ñëw record.
No.
You had no idea.
No, I have no idea.
So moom liggéey si boot bi. si recording boot bi. mu start.
Like
post nga ko wala post loo ko nga ne ko ne yow lay def de what are you doing?
Well, I think that was the funniest session I ever had.
Obviously.
Because yow na mu ngi si man maa ngi génnoon si biti. am na waaye that day am na ko laa doon record. So mu doon play beat bi comme di déglu boppam waaye nekkutoon di wéy si kaw. So mu ne naka la Jaws record ma bëgguma lose ma feeling bi. So ma dugal beat bi fast play mu dugal si biir studio bi straight. waaw
rek mu doon
nii la ni kana bire man ko xool rek waaw rek ma toog digga bi wala talal dem sa guddi dama ree.
Honestly ko nga ree da nga yëg ne kii moom lan la moo
but then after si like jox naa ko hope bi mais na ko like sa lyrics yi it's wonderful, it's powerful.
True.
Am nga lyrics yu baax South Cross bi tamit is funny.
Nice.
And then it's catchy. So this song is going viral.
Nice.
So
that sends me to my next question. Like, you being the producer, how do you balance what you feel is needed versus artists with sound? Because come man munna ñoo as an artist. You are the producer. Digala, you know what's will make the production nice.
So,
and but I mean, I have my own opinion, I have my own feeling. So you're not gonna balance this.
This like man mom nek na ni ko xamantene ni like I take opinions. Léegi man ma def my own opinion ma def ko. But artist tam dafa am bosam. Mu dem fogulo fi tam nga def ni and ni. So we check su fekkee mu ngi fenn we go for it. Then su fekkee fenn moom su waxana day xamne yeen wogut. So wa defé ko neneen wala nga defé ko neneen.
En kanta waagolo ben artist bo xamne mu ne non man duma ko defé no ko waxe man duma ko bëggé nu la ko defé.
No.
Ba légui amagolo Okay, henna comme noko nekk di waxe ya nga work more with the underground. Agagolo ci côté côté amna dañu bëgg dagal.
No, artists and producers mom. Yeah, like we families. Like ku nekk daf day jël sa advice moom.
Ba pare benn goal la. We want the production to be.
Benn production la rek. Moom moo benn lyrics am. Sometimes ran artiste dafa ñëw ak on lyrics am. Mu train ko maybe 1 month mu ko train lyrics boobu noonu. Mu ñëw si studio bi woogut. So we have producer mu la sa lyrics bi baaxut ak ñi nangam. So you have to do it again.
So yow fan la inspiration bi ñëwee si yow ngay create beats ak tamit soo dee create beat tamit comme inspiration bi comme man nii laa ko war a defee nii laa war a ñëwee how does it happen with you?
Well, like when it comes to recordings and stuff like that, yooyu moom si demoon laa ko gisee moo tax ma ñëwee say laajte naa ko.
waaw nga xoolate
yeah cause si moom laa nekkoon like di ko bàyyi xel muy record stuff and then mixing. But when it comes to beat making moom like maa dem ba bokkal suma boppa. Yeah, ma try them download software bi and di watch tutorials ba ma am more lu ma bëgga then from there ma start di train nanka at first bu mu doon tëgga bit moom su ma wàkkee di daw di tëj buntu studio bi. gars yi nag kenn xamul loo koy tëgga disturb rek pot yi këlëng kenn xamul lu may tëgga.
waaye Jaw saa nga ma lu ma jaar da nga mën dara comme ku dee rus.
Wow.
You seem like a shy person.
Jaws of the shy person.
You're a shy person. Yeah, I can tell. But the Jaws na job, how did it come?
Yeah.
Because Lulu has become your signature now.
Yeah.
Could they go Lulu like no straight neck?
No, Jaws. Yeah. Jaws nga yep. Suma benn boy la artist la mom tamit. Mu ngi stay Tanji. Yeah, mom. Time like before it was Jaws music. It's Jaws music. So any song bu guy plays, it's Jaws music and guy na hi Jaws nga yep. So that's how it came.
But right now we trend. Everybody's using it.
It's Jaws music and guy na hi Jaws nga yep. So non la ko guy me yebbe mu ñew ci studio bi. No, call la won sa after mu togoto mu nekk di wax loolu di ma wax loolu mais nako waaw yow loo ma nekk di wax ni sa dafa neex de foog la nga ñëw nga record ma ko ma def ko suma tag bi. So that's how it came.
So right now sir production list yan artists nga nekk di hope pour liggéeyal in the country ak abroad overseas ñan nga wish pour liggéeyal?
Man daal like I wish to work with anybody like everyone. Yeah.
Bu loolu yaa bonawe.
Okay.
So li nga def mooy comme you're an artist as well comme foofu nga doore. So bàyyi gaa ñu jox ñu few bits den nga woon nit ñi naka la. comme noko naan tegi ñu fàttale ko démba.
waaw fàttale ko démba.
Abdou faj ma woyofal bi laa bëgg faj ma woyofal bi.
waaw mel ne saratu i mag ji moom boobu noonu. Yeah. Wow. maa ngi sama yoon ay wax ju bari bokkuma si noon nigga maa ngi sama yoon ay wax ju bari bokkuma si noon nigga maa ngi sama yoon man wax ju bari bokkuma si noon nigga maa ngi sama yoon make my money nigga maa ngi sama maa ngi si yoon gisuma dara lu dul tekki xeeb naa waxu booy bay ma daw ndax millions foog ma teesi yor moto yi seer jiital sama biir bu fees yor kër yu seer ak gel yu bees yàgg ma bañ xëy fal ma dama la sax yëgut ku yàgga bañ xëy nangu kon xamal ne pexe ma jugut xaalis laa gis booy kon yow ak sa fake love laa gisut su ko donga wala jee kon yow ak sa fake love laa filut money millions kon sa make jang kodo kodal ku tolu kon sa lo jang kon sa make jang inshallah kon sa make ko dalu be ko mashallah
Benewa switch it give us another one ñu ngi tanga switch it another one
beat
Johnny Afrobeat
la bona boy type yeah okay let's go love now
yeah give us love
yeah just on the beat yeah love is a game for two that I only wanna play with you. This pretty girl say I'm heartless. For this heart I give to you. Monday you line up, so you light up. You my light bulb. You everything that I digest. If I'm full, you give me food. Taylor, lima jata mom yeketi maila. So baby kai jagema, bulma sorry jagema. So tour sama khol duma la geda. Yeah. Lu may def ya pour yow la. Sacrifice yu may def ngir yow la jabi sama xol pour nga bég la loo bëgg ma def bañ nga mer la lu may def yëpp pour yow la sacrifice yu may def ngir yow la caabi sama xol pour nga bég la loo bëgg ma def bay nga mer la yow la bëgga ngoon be suba when my life is hard no one to turn to anytime I ask you yaay ki tontu baby I swear you no go wrong go no need to fear I'll be your Rambo yow la bëgga ngoon be suba tey la li ma jot moom yëkkati may la so baby kay jege ma bul ma sori jege ma sa tur sama xol ma la
yeah, so time is against us. We are almost
nice
gone past the time.
So ñu bàyyi la nga tàggatoo ak sa fans yi ñu nga wax leen lan la ñoo expect from Jaws because Jaws is going places.
Jaws expect leen lu bari si Jaws and inshallah like suma artist tamit ku nekk mu ngi work sa EP and expect leen beat su neex expect leen boy yi neex lyrics yu waaw Fula Gangs sama expect leen lu bari si moom ak ñeneen
how many out of all the artists Fula Gangs nga gën a closer
waaw moom laa gën a recordal cause moom buñ doon record like 8 years now comme 3 to 4 years
mashallah
man ak moom yàgg nañoo liggéey and Lil Pumps and then I have a lot of kids tamit yoo xam ne maa ngi jàppale.
The next time soo fee ñëw moom. laptop bi na ñëw. ñu create a bit fii nii.
waaw inshallah
we're gonna be on another different frequency. inshallah. Yeah, that's all we have for you on the Click segment. It's your boy Churchill Balle. Till I come your way.
Yeah, so we are back, and that's Jaws Nga Yap on the Click segment. I was listening to his lyrics where he will say, "Baby, I will give you the whole world." So if you give the baby the whole world,
what's left for you?
Where are we going? Thank you very much.